Everybody, I'm Trey Ecker with South Florida Insider, and today I'm joined by Cazwell and Chanel Jolé for their new single "Taser" in my Telfar Bag. Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, hi,
Hi.
thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Um, Before we get started, I want to just know how the release has been. I know it's been out only for a couple days, but how's the reception been so far?
Everyone hates it.
Shut up. No, it's been crazy. Like the love is crazy. Like it's been an amazing ride so far. I'm excited for more people to hear it and more people to vibe out to it. It's been
Yeah.
great for me.
Everyone seems to really like it. I can never really tell. But so far so good. And we're really proud of it. We worked really hard. So to get it as perfect as possible and to, make sure that we like it, which is hard enough.
Right.
We're cancers.
Yeah. Very emotional.
So I know Trace isn't here with us today, but how was it working with her? I know she said it was a big deal to work with another trans artist for her, but how was it for you guys?
Yo,
Trace is great. You go first,
like
Chanel.
let me tell you, for me, it was like a dream come true. Working with an icon in the industry, like in my community, it was just everything. So I really appreciate her for doing the record. And like we kind of like formed like this sisterhood. Like we text each other, we chat, we kiki, we talk about boys, all that good girlfriend stuff. So that's my girl. I love her.
Yeah, I've known Trace for a while because we both lived in New York at the same time, and I became friends with her through Peppermint, and I didn't know that she rapped until like a couple months before we started working on the song, and I came up with the idea with Chanel, who I've been working with for a while. We did a track before that called "Damn I Look Good," and I came up with the concept for this song, and then I heard Trace, and I thought that it would be a perfect match because they're both opposite ends of the spectrum as far as the tone and everything. So I kind of see like Chanel as a little more Nicki Minaj, and then
Yeah.
Trace more like Megan Thee Stallion, just as far as just the tone and how they come across, and like laid back versus amped up. So I just got to get them together. So I thought it was a really great balance. So it was kind of like the Thelma and Louise rappers getting together.
High key.
So you touched on a little bit about kind of the inspiration behind the song, but could you just go in a little more detail? Because I know it was about, there was obviously this year there's been attacks on trans women, and in general there's always attacks on the trans community, which is terrible. But could you just go into a little more on the inspiration on like what really was the impetus for getting to writing this song?
Well, we all three of us wrote it, and I came up with the concept based on the three trans women that were assaulted on Hollywood Boulevard, I think in August of 2020, and it made the news, and there was footage of it, and just dealing and try and I just to bring attention to the fact that trans women feel the need to be safe and to protect themselves on the street, because it starts off as harassment and then often turns into assault. So I wanted to bring attention to that, and I thought, where would you keep the taser? And Telfar came to me. I mean, I'm immediately. Telfar is a newer designer, but extremely popular, and it's a Black queer company, and also he gets a lot of support from the Black queer community. So I thought that it just made sense. Like, why give Gucci a shout out when it's all encompassed, and when with Telfar, and just all kind of connects for me.
Absolutely. I agree 1,000. And for me personally, writing my verse, being a woman of trans experience, and like I've had hate crimes on me, all type of craziness. So for me, it was just personally like letting all that anger out and putting it into a record that was really gonna inspire others with my story. And just letting everybody know, like, all because you think a girl might be passable and she doesn't experience things that the other girl. No, we all experience, passable or not. And it was everything for me. So it was just letting my story be told. Like, I will zap your ass now if you play with me.
Yeah, I also wanted to touch. I was gonna ask about Telfar and bringing them into the mix, obviously because it is a queer company,
Yeah.
and like how important having that representation is for underserved communities and minority communities. But moving on, I wanted to get into the music video because I know some of your inspiration behind shooting that during the daytime came from experiences as a trans woman. So could you talk a little bit more about the ideas behind it?
Um, yeah, I'll just say something quick, and then Chanel can take up. I when I was producing the song, and I knew it was going to be more of a trap beat, it was, and it was like a little. The song is like slightly darker than, let's say, Ice Cream Chuck or some song like that. But when I kind of felt that, oh, this should be like a nighttime video, like it just kind of matches with the sound. But when I talked to the girls about it, they said, well, if it's our story, then they definitely, from Trace, expressed to me that she felt more vulnerable in the daytime, and I was like, okay, that makes sense, and this should stick to the experience. So that's kind of why we went in that direction. And then I work with Abiel Hernandez, who I worked with on the I Love You video, and I also worked with him on the Gooey video, and he comes from New York. He moved here maybe around the same time that I did, and he knows hip hop, and he knows I feel like there's a different layout as far as like angles and composition that is used for like a street trap video that I wanted, that he just naturally knows how to do, and he's been doing it for a long time, and he's really smooth. So that's kind of like how I put together the scene and who I wanted to work with.
Shout out to AV. And for me, I mean, shooting in the daytime, definitely as a trans woman, it is like, that's where I feel most vulnerable as well. So that's why I agreed with Trace about doing a daytime, nighttime shoot. Because like, that's where the craziness happens. Like, people think it's at nighttime, it's really during the day. That's when we feel like everybody's looking, everybody's trying to clock, if something might happen. So that's why I agreed with the daytime shoot. And then nighttime just made sense because, I mean, who doesn't like partying and being bad at night? You know?
Right. Yeah, so moving on, I also wanted to just get into a little more lighthearted topic, but what was the most like fun or memorable experience while working on this project?
There were actually a lot. Child, I don't know. Honestly, I don't want to say like a groupie. It was probably when me and Trace first met. I was like, oh shit, like she is like everything. Like I love her. Like that's not like it was crazy meeting her. I think another thing that was memorable was recording my verse. Recording with Cazwell was totally different for me because we've never been in the studio together. So actually working with him and seeing like his process and me being annoyed with him and just listening to him, all of that was very memorable. So yeah, it was fun.
Who was annoyed with who?
No, Cazwell, I love you, darling. No, I was just like, God damn.
Who showed up 3 hours late to the studio that day? Was that me? No. No, I'm playing. I mean, I come from a place of collaboration. Like before I was solo, I was in a gay rap duo for a while, and then I went solo. So I feel like I always miss the collaboration element a little bit, and it just always helps to just like learn from other people and just to also apply what you know to a song that you're doing with other people, and just like learn from their process too. Like, I mean, I've always like picked up a lot on how people get things done and different approaches. Even like when I would, when I work with Manila or with Peppermint or Amanda. So, but I don't know. I think that my favorite part was probably just like in the studio and getting the sound that I wanted from their voice. And then, she'll be like, oh no, let me do it like this. I'm like, oh yeah, she's right. And then, and Chanel gets really amped up when she does her, her ad libs. So, like more than anyone else. I was like, oh wow, like, okay, maybe I should try to do that. So I don't know, I think like in the studio is probably my favorite time because that's when you're just getting all the ingredients together. And then after that you have it, and then it's just like editing and do you like this? Do you like this? And making compromises. So honestly, like then it starts to get creative yet yet trying to balance everything out. So it's a constant balancing act. And I don't think I've worked with like two artists at the same time in this type of way, but it was good. I kind of like submitted because I was just like, this is more their song than mine,
Right.
so this is their faces, their names. So like every step of the way I tried to like give up control, which is kind of new for me. But I just like let it go, so because they have to be happy with
Right.
what they have, you know what I mean? And I'm really happy with it. I'm glad. I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, well, the song was great. I listened to it the other day. I watched the music video. Both of them were fantastic. You guys really did a great job. Last thing I want to touch on before I let you guys go, though, obviously Trans Remembrance Day is coming up. And so I just want to talk about like how important it is to have representation, having songs of empowerment, and just allies within the community and supporters to help that younger generation feel more, I don't know how to put it, but
If I could touch on it really quick, I feel like for me, being a positive role model and a positive force in my community, it means a lot. And when I think about what I give back to like the kids, the youth, it's like, yo, this is really big for them. They need to see this. They need to know that there is more than just what you think a trans woman do, sex work or whatever that might be. And I feel like seeing two strong trans women from different races, different parts of the spectrum board come together and do something badass, I think it's awesome. Especially, me growing up, all I seen from trans women was like, the Jerry Springers and the craziness like that. So once again, just seeing two badass trans women being powerful, it's crazy. And I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's important to, very often we're asked like, being queer, if being part of the queer community, how to remain political and make a statement. And right now I'm referring to the trans community. And when you're trans, I think that it's enough just to be alive to be a statement. And so and the fact that they're just doing it, period, is like enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't think that it was important for any trans artist, well, specifically for this song, to like make a solid statement in the song, because it's obvious to me that trans women deserve to have the same protection as everybody else on the street. So they don't have to ask for it, but literally just doing it, like just making the song, making the video, having it out there, and that's it. And putting the story online and in everyone's faces to just see, just normalizes it. I mean, we live in a world in which the only representation that trans women get when straight people are in control is they're a joke. But then it's like, oh no, like these are real people. This is their lives. You know what I mean? And so I don't think that anyone has to like try to be anything or make a solid statement about it. Just doing it and seeing it and hearing it is enough to change people's perspectives as far as who trans women are. Oh, just like everybody else,
Right.
So just, leave them the fuck alone.
Right. Absolutely. Just like normalize, humanize. At the end of the day, everyone is a person, and we all should have the same respect and be treated the same way. Unfortunately, we're not,
Period.
but that's how it should be. Anyway, I gotta let you guys go now, but it was great talking to you guys. I hope the song does great. I really enjoyed it, and I hope other people do too. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
bye.
Bye.